Hello everyone. Today I've decided to offer a transmission and to talk about groundedness and the activation of your root. So the spiritual root is actually not where you think it is, because most of the people think that the spiritual root is at the tailbone, but the spiritual root is in reality here. This is the opening to your energy body. Yet, of course, you also perceive the feeling of groundedness, bliss, warmth. When you're actually rooted energetically, you perceive it in your pelvis as warmth, as the feeling of being content, the soothing warmth, which is spreading all over the body. And so, but we cannot just emphasize physical symptoms, whatever is happening with our body, that is a sign of this or that. Normally, when you feel depleted, when you feel easily stressed, fatigued, pushed out of your contentment easily, or for instance, you experience I would say pangs of isolation, pangs of loneliness or restlessness or anxiety. All of these are signs that no matter what you think or how you perceive your self, your identity, what kind of spiritual ideas you may have or cultivate, the reality is that you are ungrounded. And so it's important to understand that in order to ground yourself, you have to have alignment within your sacred chamber. And this alignment would transpire through your entire body. And this is the main challenge for most of the people, because they are very much in the head, always dreaming, thinking that they are doing something spiritually. You know, all these different techniques, from Kichari Mudra to all kinds of bandhas and different asanas and all, even though I'm very much aware and mastered all of these, I know that before you really awaken to the higher reality, you are not able to understand the essence of these. And not all of them are supposed to be practiced. Sometimes when you practice these techniques successively, you also imbalance your energy body, because there's difference between spontaneously occurring natural postures or some kind of phenomena and those which you practice out of your limitation, out of your limited mind, out of your ego, so to say. And sometimes people feel so intensely in need to progress spiritually that they don't realize that the progress happens through life, but also through different types of connections that we have in our lives or that we pursue. And the first of all, the relationship with our own self and others. And sometimes we cannot go ahead because we simply want, but we need to address certain aspects that bring us the feeling of stuckness, the feeling of restlessness and anxiety. And when we feel restless and anxious, we usually tend to escape or look for some kind of escapist paradigms or something that can, invoke a new sense of life or bring us temporarily the sense of, wow, I found something new. The reality of the spiritual journey is very different from what I've just described. It's very far from, spiritual shopping or trying to get a new excitement from somewhere else. It is more about persistence, cultivation of the connection with the higher reality, learning through certain tested spiritual guidance, and also working on one's own limitations. Also, it's not just about one's own patterns and limitations, it's about ancestral karmic limitations, it's about facing the ancestral baggage, all that information that is still active, and it's active through your genetic material, which connects you to these clusters of energy information within the collective. And so then there are also planetary cycles or astronomical cycles. Most of the people are subjected to these cycles, and their energy body undergoes a certain evolutionary, I would say, changes and transitions. And of course, it depends on whether they are aware of that or not. Some people just impose or inflict pain upon themselves unnecessarily due to their arrogance, due to their righteousness, due to their patterns that they've acquired from their bloodlines. And of course, they inflict the sense of loss in themselves. The biggest loss is a spiritual loss, the loss of being disconnected, the loss of being somewhat limited. But not everyone is capable of recognizing it. If we are able to recognize it, we can heal and we can restore the balance and the feeling of groundedness, and we stop doubting ourselves. So when your root is ungrounded and afflicted, I would say, because the root is always afflicted by the ancestral afflictions, and may also be other types of afflictions like occult afflictions, attachments. Many people who are in a spiritual prison are going to have mental and physical imbalances. They'll have all kinds of signs of mental illness, the feeling of restlessness. Even if it's not a mental illness, it will be mental imbalance, it will be internal, you may say, spiritual attacks from inside. So a lot of people who are ungrounded because of the amount of ancestral information that is haunting them, because, say, they try to overstimulate their body prematurely, and maybe they use certain types of stimulants, spiritual stimulants, that could have created certain unnecessary openings which are not suitable maybe for their current state of mind and consciousness, meaning not suitable that they cannot, it's not about not suitable, but the time is not suitable to face them. They have no capacity and they get overwhelmed. You may see this with many young people who use certain substances to invoke certain experiences, and usually they get, especially if they get carried away with these experiences, they tend to experience mood swings, depression, negative feelings, feelings of isolation, not being able to connect to other people, because these attachments, these negative attachments, disrupt their alignment with a higher being and start draining them. So again, when your root is imbalanced, it's because you are draining from different on different levels. And in order to heal yourself, you need to learn to conceal your energy, to protect your auric field, and to prioritize your well-being beyond or above everything. And so if you become aware of this, this is already a first step. If you are humble enough and intelligent enough, which is one and the same thing, you're able then to look at yourself as if from the outside. And when you look at yourself as if from the outside, you're capable of actually healing and balancing and dissolving these patterns. And for example, through our Shaktipat stream, we are all aware of how to dissolve these patterns. And if you are yourself willing to learn and grow spiritually like never before, practically, although it might not be always very pleasant, you may also consider joining Shaktipat stream. If you're eligible, you may always send us an email. It is not an easy task to grow spiritually and to face oneself, face one's own negative ancestral karmic patterns or some kind of other negative afflictions that are there or have been there for thousands of years, but it is still possible. If you know what you're doing, if you understand yourself a little bit deeper, if you've prepared to actually really step on the path of true spiritual evolution, and evolution is, of course, it's self-mastery. It's coming to the point of balance. It's coming to the point of groundedness when you're blissful, content, aware, and still aligned with the world, when you're not denying the world. When your root is imbalanced, you're denying the world. You're denying the world, you're denying sometimes the reality and living in the imaginary world, flying around looking for some kind of spiritual kicks. Or excitement. The more you are spiritually aligned, the more grounded you are in this world, yet you very clearly realize that you're always free as a soul and you're connected at all times with your higher being. So your root is aligned with your higher being and nurtured by this higher being. In this case, you start experiencing health, meaning balance in the physical body. You feel like you are free from cravings, free from different types of addictive patterns. And the root center, the energetic root in your energy body, which starts in the physical body from here, but is all connected with all the other glands, and especially with your ovaries if you're a woman, and your prostate if you're a man, and your entire nervous system is sort of connected to the center. So, but on the energy body, your root is nurtured by your connection with the higher being, and because it is nurtured, it's like you're shining a light onto your lower nature, onto your negative or whatever positive inclinations which are expressed through a physical being. Again, spirituality is never about trying to be a good person or a bad person. Even the thought is already a sign of being not grounded in this worldly reality, or not having a kind of a proper alignment in the physical and in the energy body. And so we're here to raise the awareness and also to address it through the transmission. So now try to just bring your focus into your physical being, into your pelvis, but you will also feel the connection between this part, and it will be magnetic. You will feel that your crown and your physical pelvis with all the glands, lower glands, are kind of aligned. So all your fears are going to be dissolved through this transmission. Again, you may come back to this transmission from time to time and work upon your fears, work on your distortions, sudden feelings of fear, anxiety, restlessness, isolation, unwanted feeling of, cravings, self-doubt, negative projections onto the future. So all of this sprout out from the misalignment between your high existence and the root in the physical and the energy body. When your third eye or upper glands are activated properly, you will feel this alignment. When you start going around and connecting to suspicious people with negative attachments, in the name of spirituality, in the name of love relationships or any other type of relationships, you're opening yourself to forces of lower frequency. That's why you become imbalanced at the root. When you're awakened properly and you are open to the cultivation, to the guidance, to the higher being, you will feel deeply content and you will face whatever challenges with a different sense of self, with a different mind. Your emotions will be balanced. Your being will be fulfilled despite other people's reactions, affections, or none of those, or lack of affection, lack of understanding. Your sense of self, the self-worth, the value of self will be intact. And you will slowly recognize subtler weaknesses that will start dissolving, falling off your being as if they never existed. Past memories, past connections, energy fields of the past that you still carry, all these different timelines, ideas of self related to certain past experiences, all are dissolved. And the focus is within. You'll perceive yourself as newly born in your childlike innocence, beauty, deep sense of value through the connectedness to the higher reality. And the truth will permeate through your body, will vibrate in your cells. The truth, it doesn't need to be explained. It is free from beliefs and ideologies, but is always there. And that truth will make you humble and grateful and realize what is what, who is who in this world, and what is true spirituality. What is true spiritual guidance and what is true spiritual growth? Beyond illusions, beyond projections. The spirituality of your true authenticity. You're grounded, you're healing when you stay authentic at all times. And you are a master when you aren't swayed by any fluctuations. challenges may come, but your attitude to them will change once you're grounded and aligned. Many blessings. Stay healed, grounded, aligned, and protected by the high frequency of your soul, if you are that soul. Thank you.